Hello again. I'm here to talk about American domestic politics. I know, surprising, right? um, I'm going to bring up a couple topics here that I think need to be brought up. Obviously, already been heard, just regurgitating talking points. But the UK done something that America doesn't do. Okay, because there's no accountability in America for the powerful and the elite. They run everything in America. AKA, this is why our country's going down the tubes right now. But they arrested Prince Charles, who was willfully involved in the e-files. Okay. UK said they're not okay with that. And I say, good on the UK. Unlike America, we don't hold our own people accountable in America, especially if they're criminals with money. Oh, no, 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 no. Because there's a class tier standard in America, unfortunately. UK, on the other hand, says we're not rolling like that. And kudos for the UK for doing that. And aside from that, like I said, the pace of the news right now is so fast I can't even keep up. I got other things to focus on. But sometimes I'll tune out for a minute because there's just so much going on. And obviously there's more to life than what's going on in the world. So yeah. But I want to highlight this conflict with Trump and Iran. Not good. Implications of this are not looking good. He's effectively trying to start a war with Iran, which he's actually doing right now. He's already started a war with them. All right, and like I said prior, Trump bombed Iran like almost 2 months ago, and Iran actually de-escalated the situation. But like I said, he was going to do it again. That's exactly what he just did recently. And it's not because he's doing it himself. He's doing it on behalf of Israel. Israel is pushing him to bomb Iran. And Trump is taking orders from Israel. You can see it right now. Okay, we're seeing the fruits of that. He's basically a warmonger. He's everything that the American people claim they hated. And that's why his approval rating's in the toilet right now. Because there are people I know that are even principled conservatives that do not like what this guy is doing. Because again, we don't all agree on everything, but people vote for different reasons. All right. One, bottom line is their pocketbook. That's the number one thing people care about is their pocketbook. All right. There are other reasons that I've discussed prior, but I'm not going to revisit that in this video. I've already talked about that. But what I'm saying is people have nuanced reasons on why they vote the way they do. People have different concerns, different belief systems, and different things that they care about. But the one thing I will say is that Donald Trump himself is not serving his promises to anyone right now. The only thing he's doing right now is enriching himself. And we're seeing that. And taking orders from foreign leaders who, mind you, have dirt on him. That's kind of obvious. Another thing that's going on is he's trying to distract people from the e-files. Because what have we heard back to back in the news? The e-files that they're not releasing. He's implicated in them. His name comes up several times. So here we are. And I told people he's going to constantly deflect and distract people because he's not in a good spot right now. This is what he does. The unfortunate part about this, though, is he's creating chaos everywhere as a result and destroying people's lives. Now, I'm not here to sit here to say that Iran's government's a good government. It's quite apparent they're not. I cheer for those protesters in Iran just as much as I cheer for the protesters in America. But I find it funny that Trump's going around talking about how he's concerned about the protesters in Iran when he's not concerned about his own citizens on American soil. His ICE Gestapo killed American citizens. You're worried about Iranian citizens? Get out of here, dude. You're not worried about any citizen, especially Iranian citizens. Stop pretending, dude. You're doing this because you want to distract people from the e-files, and you're taking orders from Israel. Israel. He's effectively Israel's and Russia's puppet. He's owing his allegiance to other countries. That's what he's showing. And I want to remind people, anybody that supports this war, do you support your own kids and family going to that war on behalf of Israel? That's the question that you should be asking your friends that say they support this war. If they have families, do you support your young men, your young boys going to fight in a war and die in a war on behalf of Israel's prophets? Because that's what's going on right now. And for an self-centered sociopath in the White House who's putting that money in his own bank account, that's what they're defending, and they don't even know they're defending that. They're listening to talking points and a bunch of commentators that are lying to their face. This guy is raking our country over the coals. It's obvious. And anybody that does not see that reality is lying to themselves every day to justify their support for Donald Trump and to justify their support because they're a quote-unquote MAGA or a Republican. But there's a point where you got to look outside your own tent of politics and see the character of the individuals you're voting for. Okay. I know that's not easy to do. But in order to truly strive for a better governance in this country, you have to do that. Because the people you vote for does matter. And all this crap that people go around saying the two parties are not different, it's not true. They're very different. It's just one party takes whatever label's thrown at them at face value and doesn't strive for any change in this country. And that would be the status quo Democratic Party. They're the uniparty, a lot of them, the establishment Democrats. The Republicans are fascists. So there is a difference between the two parties. I hate to say it to y'all. They're fascists. They're modern day fascists for Donald Trump. All right. That's just reality. And that's why I say people need to reflect on what they're supporting. Reflect on what they want out of their government. Because I know most people don't want this out of their government. I don't think they voted to blow up the deficit and voted for a man to enrich himself and voted for Republican lawmakers to vote to give billionaires tax breaks. Okay, I don't think that's what people signed up for. Endless wars. I don't think that's what people signed up for. People covering up a pedo ring. I don't think that's what people signed up for. I'm pretty darn sure that's not what people signed up for. Okay. And by the way, nice deflection, Republicans, with the deposition of Hillary and Bill Clinton. That was a dumb political move on the Republican Party's part, because that's only going to put the light back on Trump and his administration with these e-files. You guys didn't prove anything. If anything, you prove that you're distracting people from the truth. Because if Hillary Clinton has to answer for her husband's behavior, so does Melania Trump. So I want to remind you, is in those files way more. Okay? So does all these other women that are married to all these men that are in Trump's cabinet that went to the Epstein Island, that were involved in all this. They all got to answer for it. If you're going to go after Hillary Clinton, you have to go after everybody. That's only fair. Okay? Fair game. But you're not distracting anybody from what's going on. I just want to let you all know that. FYI. Good day, everyone. Great night. See you later. Goodbye.